More details on that battery breakthrough, Tesla is making progress in Connecticut, and we visit the comedy department today. Here are your Tesla tidbits for May 10th, 2017. We start the day at Electrek, where we get some more detail on the battery breakthrough I brought to you a couple shows ago. Jeff Dawn, an apparent modern-day wizard, gave a talk back in March about this breakthrough, which is where the original story came from. However, he gave another one this week at MIT and spilled some more beans. Don and his team have been contracted for a 5-year term, with the goal being a doubling of the life of the batteries going into Tesla products before the end of that term. Don said during his most recent talk that this goal has already been achieved. Quote, "In the description of the Tesla project that we sent to NSERC, Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, to get matching funds from the government for the project, I wrote down the goal of doubling the lifetime of the cells used in the Tesla products at the same upper cutoff voltage. We exceeded that in round 1. Okay, so that was the goal of the project, and it has already been exceeded. We are not going to stop, obviously. We have another 4 years to go. We are going to go as far as we can," end quote. Now, it's important to note that the chemistry they've achieved this on is the nickel manganese cobalt oxide, NMC, chemistry, which is the one used in Powerwall 2 and PowerPack 2. Don estimates that this could drop the per kilowatt hour cost for solar plus storage to 23 cents per kilowatt hour for residential installations and 13.9 cents per kilowatt hour for utility scale installations. The vehicles aren't being left out, though. The cars run a nickel cobalt aluminum oxide, NCA, chemistry, for which Don says research is already in progress. Amazing work, everyone. Good luck on the automotive side. It would be revolutionary to realize the same gains over there. Teslarati is helping us keep track of the goings-on in the newest battle for direct sales in Connecticut. I'll warn you now, you're going to get a bit of my soapbox at the end of this one. To start, though, today is good news as the bill has made it out of the Finance Committee on the strength of a narrow 25-20 victory. Some had some very positive things to say, such as Representative John Hennessy saying, quote, "Let's give innovation a chance," end quote. Representative Joe Gresko said, quote, "I feel this technology. We need to embrace it here in the state of Connecticut," end quote. And maybe the one that's nailing it the most is Representative Terry Wood saying, quote, "We're losing sales to these other states. We need to look forward. We need to be inventive and entrepreneurial. Let's embrace this company and welcome them to our state. Our state needs business," end quote. Unfortunately, we still have the other side of the coin that isn't seeing the positives. Representative Michael A. McLaughlin said, quote, "I don't feel comfortable kicking aside 100 years of franchise law in the state of Connecticut. I'm perplexed in trying to understand why the legislature is willing to carve out a special exception for one company and kick aside this long history of success for new car sales in the state of Connecticut," end quote. Worse yet was Representative Jason Perillo saying, quote, "It would seem to me that there is a very simple compromise right in front of us. We have a car manufacturer that wants to sell cars through dealerships in Connecticut, and we have existing dealerships that don't want to disrupt the system that's been in place for many years. So in order for both of those parties to accomplish what they want, the solution is simple. Tesla can sell cars through the dealerships that exist in Connecticut right now," end quote. This, of course, is no compromise at all. It's the status quo. I would submit to you, Representative Perillo, that nobody actually likes the status quo. The feeling of going in, having to haggle for the best price on your car, wondering if you did get the best price, wasting literally hours of your day only to ultimately feel like you got ripped off regardless of what deal you got, is not a pleasant experience. This is the reason for direct sales. There is one price, everyone pays it, and there's no middleman to jack said price up. I think if every legislator against direct sales laws in the state were honest with themselves, none of them could say that they enjoy the current car buying process. On the other hand, when you look at the numbers for satisfaction in the car buying experience, you see Tesla far and away at number 1. This is no coincidence, folks. And the compromise that Representative Perillo talks about is actually pretty easy. I can understand wanting to protect existing dealers from being overrun by the manufacturers they sell for. I get that. There's a lot of jobs at stake there. So there's a pretty easy solution. Write the law so that it contains the following provision. Any manufacturer may sell cars direct to the public so long as they don't also license dealership franchises in the state. Simple as that. This not only protects your existing jobs, but also encourages new innovation. Even now, if an exemption is purely made for Tesla, it's a myth that this hurts existing dealers. No dealer has ever sold a new Tesla, and none ever will. The loss of revenue is zero. There can only be a net gain of jobs on passage, as Tesla will be able to operate more freely in the state and bring more jobs with it. And of course, as Representative Wood pointed out, the tax implications for the state are huge. It was a narrow victory. Let's hope that those that are on the fence can be convinced with these facts, as well as many others I'm not listing. Good luck, Connecticut residents. Electrek has a wonderful story about an ad firm out of Latvia that asks you to think of the poor oil barons that you're harming by buying Teslas. The campaign, entitled Stop Tesla, has several commercials depicting the anguish of the oil barons dealing with the imminent release of Model 3. There's a full website at stoptesla.com, and they've even launched a faux Indiegogo campaign trying to raise $2 billion for the poor displaced barons. It's really well done and got more than a few chuckles out of me. Lastly tonight, I just wanted to take a moment and shout out fellow Tesla podcaster Ryan McCaffrey, host of the weekly Ride the Lightning show, and my favorite Tesla show outside of my own. Sadly, Ryan lost his beloved Maggie the boxer yesterday. He tweeted out pictures and videos of their final weekend together before that final visit to the vet, and if you're in any way an animal lover, they'll break your heart unless you're dead inside. Anyhow, please join me in sending your best wishes to Ryan and MTB, as listeners to the show became fond of calling her. We're all with you, Ryan. Here's hoping you can get back to some sense of normal soon. You can find the links to today's full stories in the show description. This show operates on a value-for-value model. If you get some value out of what I do each day, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. Many thanks to super patrons John Waltauer, Drew Schuyler, Cookie UK, John Waller, and Mark and Sarah Thomas for supporting the show at the $10 plus level. As always, if you have nothing extra to spare, it's no big deal. If you could take some time to share your positive feedback and or subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or other services across the internet, it would be greatly appreciated. Lastly, if you're in the market for a Tesla, you can get yourself $1,000 off while supporting the show and super patron Drew Schuyler by using the referral link ts.la/Andrew1233. That's it for today, folks. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits. I'll see you all back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.